welcome back to our podcast about Beyond the Gates. If you are new, welcome. This week was a emotional roller coaster. I was in tears through some of these scenes, and our focus for today is going to be on the Kat and Eva situation. So when Eva was brought in, of course, Kat went to go to the hospital to Montessori with her, and Leslie just went off. I think my favorite line this week is "Get your bad mojo and yo mojito out of here because Eva does not need you." I was cracking up. Leslie know how to give off those names, but I feel like this was a storyline that brought out the worst in people. It really did. I think everybody was getting on my nerves this week. What were your thoughts?
I thought the same thing. I was annoyed with several people
Mhm.
in the way that they was talking to Kat. So let's get into it.
Okay, let's start with Ted. I feel like Ted's dealing with several different things. You had Andre, who got his leg impaled. Martin had a confirmed concussion. You got Kat's okay, but she's traumatized. Then you have Eva, who needs a liver transplant. He was all over the place, but he was calm, though. And that's good. I mean, he's a doctor, so he should be, pretty calm, but he was walking a very tight rope of like he's with Shanice, and Shanice is being there for him, but then she sees him with Leslie, and Leslie's all about him too. I'm surprised they didn't kiss each other this week the way she was all up on him, but I feel like Ted was trying his best to deal with everything at once. And when it came to Eva needing a transplant, I mean, it's hard to know what to do with that information because, like, Martin and Smitty got tested. Kat was hesitated, and the way Martin went off on Kat was awful. I was like, Martin is such he just he was doing too much. But I'm glad Kat went off on him too. Cause Martin, I do you feel like Martin is jealous of Kat?
No, I don't think it's jealousy. I think it's kind of like he might feel a ways about her because probably when they were younger, it was so much attention on Nicole getting pregnant with Kat. So there's a lot of that. And then they call her like the miracle baby. They still say that. So I think it has a lot to do with how they kind of just loved on her probably when she was born and maybe gave less attention to Martin. And when you got siblings and they feel like that, then they feel like, oh, you're like, spoiled mom, dad love you more kind of thing. Where yeah, they might have gave her more attention, but they love both of their kids. So that's what I get from Martin. And maybe he feels by him being older and Kat being younger, maybe he feels like the parents, his mom and dad let Kat get away with stuff. So I feel like that's why he kind of talks to her crazy sometimes because he kind of pulling from you know, space, in his brain, and he probably feels like she gets away with stuff.
Maybe that's why he's so close to Vernon. To me, I feel like Martin should have been Vernon's and Anita's son because he's so
Hmm.
close to them. You don't really see Martin with Ted and Nicole that often. You see him more with the grands than his own parents. So I wonder if after Kat was born, his grands had saw, Martin kind of being pushed away, so they watched him probably a lot more. But yeah, he does give this like miracle child, spoiled brat, all this stuff. And I was just like,
Hmm.
dang, Martin, like, are you having flashbacks to when he was a kid and this is what you wanted to say to Kat or something? It's like he had some residual like anger towards her
Hmm.
for just being born. Same way that
Hmm.
Kat has issues with Eva just being born. I feel like they all three have some serious issues that they need to work through. Maybe they will after all this. I have no idea, but it was hard to watch him go off on her. But I'm glad she stood up to him and was like, "Go to hell, Martin." I was like, "Thank you, Catherine," because he was just so out of pocket. But I understood Martin like we are out of time. Eva needs help like today. Like what you do with a cat is just like having a very hard time making a choice because I feel like it's a mixture of she has medical anxiety, she don't like that, but also she doesn't like Eva. You know, she doesn't want her to be unalive, but she also doesn't want to be part in saving her either. And I feel like with Ted and Cat, he was listening to her. He was trying to defend her to everybody else who was going off on her or about her. But at the same time, he wanted Kat to make a choice to save Eva. You know, from Ted's point of view, he known Eva for a little over a year. That's it. He lost that opportunity because of Leslie to not have many memories with Eva. So only know her for 1 year and she might be unalive. That's a pretty hard rope to walk. So do you think Ted did enough to like listen to Kat but also wanting Kat's help? Do you feel like he defended Kat enough to people who was going off on her?
I feel like he did defend her up to a point. I feel like he could have went even further. But also Kat said something that stood out for me when I was watching all of it go down was she said she hates Eva. Now, see, that's different from, okay, I'm mad at somebody. Okay, I don't like you. Okay, I don't like the way you treated me. Hate is a very strong word.
Mm-hmm.
So when you say that you hate somebody, that's pretty serious. And even though she said that, she ended up making the choice to help her. But I feel like she did it for the wrong reasons. She told Ted that she's doing it for him, but she should have been doing it for herself. And that's what her mom, I think, was trying to get her to look at, clearly is you have to make the decision. Nobody else can do it. But she ended up doing it for Ted. And that's what I didn't like about that at the end. I felt like that decision needed to be strictly her.
Mm-hmm.
I know I seen on the previews something's gonna happen with Kat. Hopefully nothing bad. But see, if something does happen, her dad is gonna feel awful because she told him, "I'm doing it for you." But then if she survived whatever it is, but something does impact her in a negative way, then she's gonna have resentment
Mm-hmm.
because she did do it for her dad. And I felt like Ted was kind of pressuring her to go ahead and say Eva. So yeah, I just felt it was bad all the way around. But I felt like Kat should have went with her first instincts. Her first instincts was a hell to the no. And yeah, the consequences would be bad if, Eva passes away, but her first instinct was no. And Kat never had, I think, anything done to her at all, like when it comes to, medical stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a big thing to undertake. And I understand, like, oh, she wanna, everybody was on her like, oh, you gotta save her, you gotta save her, you gotta save her. At the end of the day, that was still her decision. And I felt like everybody was pressuring her to make that decision. So did she make the right decision to save Eva, or did she make the decision because everybody else was pouncing on her?
I think it was both. I think she took in the thoughts of what Chelsea said. Because Chelsea, had told her, like, how would you feel not helping Eva? And Martin, your father, Samantha, and Tyrell, I say even June lost Eva. Like, was you able to live with knowing that you could have possibly helped Eva out? And I think that's why she got at least tested. I think that Kat is the type of person that loves hard. If she loves you, she will love you hard. It's just that with Eva, it's very complicated. It's how everything went down. I feel like if Eva came in like, hey, Ted, my mother is Dana Leslie Thomas. She says you're my father. Let's do a DNA test. If Eva would have came in differently, I think Kat wouldn't have had so much hate. But they both have done tit for tat for each other. And let's not rewrite history. They both have done each other wrong. It's just I think Kat did a mixture of she doesn't want to live with the guilt of not helping. It would have been a what if? What if I helped out Eva? what if at some point her and I could have maybe got along okay, not like BFFs kind of thing, because they were starting to get along okay
Mhm.
before everything happened. They were civil. They were very civil towards each other. It's just that when Kat is under stress with that whole tornado stuff that happened, it just brought up that hate again for Eva, you know? So it's very, very complicated. And I think we all have to ask ourselves, will we help someone that we highly dislike, that we hate? Probably not. And I do agree she should have done it for herself. And she may have regrets because being a donor is just as risky. Like I was saying last week, if you're going to donate, it's going to be a long recovery. So I'm wondering how her recovery is going to go because she's supposed to be, I think, in bed for like 2 months or something. So you
Jeez.
spending your summer in bed, you know, that's a lot to take in for Kat. But I thought Kobe Nixon, who plays Kat, did wonderful. I feel like we saw her range and what she can do. She is traumatized. She saw Eva, bleeding and all that. It was a lot for her to deal with, but she made her choice, and now she
Yeah.
has to deal with it. And I thought it was a very awkward scene when she went to Leslie and Ted and said she would do it. And Leslie is like, "Oh, thank you," and hugged her. I knew Kat was like, "Get the hell off me, woman."
Right.
She was ready to push her off of her, but she was trying to be calm and cool and collected as much as she could. But my question for you, Mom, is that if the roles were reversed, do you think Eva would have hesitated to help out Kat?
I was just thinking that. I was about to ask you the same question. I because talks to everybody now. She talks to her dad. She talks to Martin. She talks to Samantha and Tyrell and them. I think she might have stepped up and did it at that point, even though she herself told Kat that if she needed something, she wouldn't help her. She might have stepped up and helped her though.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad Kat did it. I just hope Kat's gonna be okay. But I just wish that I wish that she said that she did it for her
Mm-hmm.
to help her sister. That's what I was hoping that she would have said.
Yeah. Yeah, I do think Eva would have had stepped up for sure. Leslie wouldn't have liked it. But I think Eva would be like, it's my choice, my body. I'm going to help her out for Martin, for Ted. And I feel like that's what Kat's doing. She's doing it for her father. I feel like Eva would have done the same thing for the same reasons that Kat is doing it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So, because they can't stand each other,
No,
but you don't want this person to be unalive
unalive.
either. You
Yeah.
don't you don't want to be responsible or partly responsible for their death. So I feel like if the roles were reversed, Eva would do the same reasons that Kat is doing. So let's switch up to Leslie's point of view. Now Leslie, she's being Leslie. She's being remorseful. She's saying all these stories and talking to Eva. She's crying. And I think you're right, Mom. I think she may have some medical background of some kind because when Eva came through, she fixed her like tube thing a little
Mhm.
bit. I
I
was
caught
like,
that. I clocked that.
I think Mom is right about it. So it's possible she had some medical background
Because
on
how
there.
would you know how to do that if you didn't
Yeah.
have you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Exactly, exactly. So I was like, maybe she does have some kind of medical background. And then when Kat was going to be tested, she was very confident that Kat was going to be a match, which brings me back to my theory is that they could be twins, or she took one of Nicole's eggs, all of that.
Mhm.
That's very possible. But I do feel that Nicole is biologically Eva's, is how it's starting to look like. Possibly. I don't know. But I thought Trisha Mann Grant did great. The
She
way
did.
she went off on that doctor, I was here for it. I was crying with her too, because he's all like, okay, we found a daughter. Okay, cool. And it comes back, yeah, the liver's gone. What? what? I'm surprised she didn't snatch him because the way he walked away, like, yeah, I can't do anything, just walked away. I'll be like, what? You come back here? I would have been going on. But as a mother, I felt her. I understand she does some crazy stuff in the past. Okay, yeah, she has. But as a mother, I understood how she was feeling. But she did awesome this week. Trisha Mangrath. Props to you, lady.
Yes, she did. Her scene, she was nailing it. I mean, it was really good. You can feel all her emotions. And yeah, especially when the doctor came in there and was like, "Oh, psych." It's like, what do you mean? I mean, I was like, "Oh my goodness." I thought she was gonna slap him. Ted was gonna have
Mm-hmm.
to grab her up off of him because that was horrible to watch. But then when he left out of there and she ran and she went over to the bed, that whole scene was really good. I mean, she definitely got them scenes. She nailed them scenes pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, she need a daytime Emmy. Her and the person that played Cat Colby,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, both of them. They definitely need a daytime Emmy for this because
Yeah.
the acting was really good.
It was great. I felt I think every scene she was in because as a mother, I get it. I'll do anything for it. But I do think this will open up to Leslie's eyes because when she told the doctor that she would talk to the family, give them money, money can't buy everything. She thought her
Hmm.
having money would give her all the stuff, and it didn't. She had to wait it out like everybody else for her daughter, alleged daughter. So it's. I hope this. I mean, I don't think this would change Leslie too much because
Mm-mm.
a leopard does not change their prince. But I do feel like she will learn a lesson that even though she has this money, she she can't buy everything.
Well, maybe she'll try to treat Cat with some more respect. So put some respect on Cat's name at this point because she's saving your daughter. So it's like
Mm,
instead of her
I
talking about
doubt it.
kick cat or whatever she be calling her,
Kitty cat
hopefully,
brat.
yeah, she be going off. So hopefully she'll treat her with some more respect
I
because
doubt it.
she did not have to donate anything, and she did. So but Isaiah, I see him in a different light. I didn't care for the
Yeah.
way he talked to Kat at all. I'm like,
Yeah.
you are the new boyfriend
He
coming
lost a
in.
lot of points this week.
Why is you hooping and hollering at her sister? I mean, I understand you love her. You want to see her make it through, but you ain't have to go off on Cat like that. I was not here for it at all.
Well, he did ask the question that I think fans was wondering is are you not going to donate for revenge?
Yeah,
I
but Cat, you
thought the
know
same
what?
thing.
Cat be mad and she might say I hate Eva, but she ain't. To me, she's not a petty person. She can be if she wanted, but to me, in this case, it wasn't about her revenge or being petty. It was about her body, her choice, and she had to think it through.
Mhm.
That's the bottom line and stuff. And yes, she don't like her, but at the same time, her body, her choice. She had to make that decision,
Well,
and I was
yeah. Yeah.
I was glad that Nicole went to bat for her
I was
because I was
surprised.
tired of everybody coming at Cat crazy.
Mhm.
So I'm glad that her mom came on and was like, back up, give her room. I'm glad she was checking people because
Mhm.
it was horrible to watch how everybody was ganging up on her. And I understand family is family, blah, blah, blah. We all get that. But it's the way that they was conversing on her that was just nerve wracking to even watch it.
And it reminds me of, like, her body, her choice. And it was the men that were giving her a hard time.
Yep.
If you know, you know what I'm saying. So I'm glad that Nicole, even Dani, and Chelsea, and Anita
Anita,
had
yep.
her back. Cause they like, it's your body, it's your choice. What do you want to do? Where some men is like, oh, you selfish, you a brat, you this, you that. I was like, oh, y'all, okay, I see what's going on.
Hmm.
Her body, her choice, but men want to use her body as body parts to save Eva. I was like,
Well, and
okay.
yeah, and Kat kind of said that. It's like, oh, so y'all basically just want to carve me up, for her. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, it's her choice. And to sit there and have all of them just just all in her face like that, it was horrible to watch. I just was like, so I was so happy when her mama came to her rescue. I said,
Mm-hmm.
thank
I was
goodness.
surprised because usually Nicole be talking to Cat kind of crazy. So
Yeah.
I was nervous when Chelsea was like, let's go talk to someone who understands. I was thinking Anita, not
I was thinking
Nicole.
Dani.
Not Nicole. I was like, oh,
Mm-mm-mm.
Nicole, I don't know. But yes, she was there. She was Mama Bear. Now she did see Ted and Leslie hug. And Nicole had a look on her face. What do you think that look was?
This some BS. That's why she was looking. She was looking
Yeah.
like this some BS. But I mean, she gets it. But at the same time, it hurts her because that's how all this came to be was Ted having an affair.
Mm-hmm. Yep. To have an affair. Or
And then
Leslie
Shanice saw
taking
it
her
too
egg.
though.
Yep. Shanice too. Shanice was trying to be very kind to Leslie, but she also checked Leslie because she's like, "Oh, you just trying to get some brownie points." And Shanice like, "I'm just a kind person, unlike you." You know, it's like,
Mm-hmm.
yep. So even though Shanice was being nice, she still checked Leslie, and Leslie put her claws back in because that's just how she is, you know. So I thought everybody did great with their scenes. I was just surprised, I think, by Andre going off on Ted about Kat. Now he didn't do it to her face, but he was trash talking her to Ted, and Ted was like, "Hey, just let her be, let her think." What was your thoughts on Andre? Like, do you not feel sorry for him now since Dani cheated on him with Bill?
Yeah, I mean, so with Andre, he did kind of go off, but then he pulled back, and he was like, okay, wait a minute. So he did kind of catch himself at the end of that conversation he was having with Ted.
Mm-hmm.
So I respect that. He does like Eva, and like I think it was Isaiah maybe saying that told Andre that Eva told him that Andre was one of the first people to
Yes.
kind of like embrace her.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, Andre, I didn't care for it at first, but like I said, he pulled back. Everybody else, they weren't pulling back
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah.
So I give
Yeah.
him that.
Andre's
But
definitely about family. Since
yeah, yeah,
since he
because he lost
lost his
his own.
parents, yeah.
Yeah.
So he's all
Hmm.
about family. I like how he was by Eva's bedside and talking
Yeah.
to her and giving her words of encouragement. I thought he did pretty good. I think Andre is low on the list of like hate.
Yeah.
Izaiah definitely is up there now.
Yeah.
And Martin been up there for a long time. I think it just went way up higher.
Well, I do like Isaiah parents showing up.
Oh
So I was
yeah.
glad his mom came. I was glad his dad did because I was like, come on.
I'm like,
So I'm
come
glad
on,
his
fine, Eli, get your butt to the
I
hospital.
know.
He is so handsome.
Get your brown, tall, handsome butt to the hospital.
He
But yeah,
is so fine.
I'm glad that he did show up. I like the scene that he hugged his son. I said it's about
Hmm.
time. So I'm glad of that. I'm glad that his mom went in and talked to Leslie because Leslie was like, I don't need no negative. And I understand what Leslie
I
at
don't blame
though.
her though. I
I
don't
don't blame
blame
her at
her.
all. Yeah, I was Team Leslie right there. But I'm glad his mom was like, no, it's mother to mother. And I was like, yeah, speak it. So I was glad that they squashed whatever what was going on with them
Hmm.
at that moment. And she can be support for her son as well as Leslie and them too while they're going through this. Because that's horrible what they're going through with Eva in the first place.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, and Darlene said when Eva wakes up, she's going to try to get to know her. Do you believe her, or is she just talking?
I think she's gonna try because she sees how much Eva means to her son. And if
Hmm.
she wants to have a relationship with her son, she got to get on board
Yeah, yeah,
because he
true.
stayed there the whole time. He never left. So that's why she brought him some clothes and stuff so that he can at least change out of the clothes that he had during the tornado. But he
Hmm.
been there the whole time. So as a mom, it's like either you gonna get on board or you not. The only time you shouldn't get on board is if the person is being abusive towards your child. That's a whole nother story for a different time. That's different. But in this case, Eva's not doing anything to her son except
Hmm.
loving him.
Hmm.
So his mom should kind of get on board if she want to have a relationship also with her son. And she don't have to, suck up to her, but just show her some
Yeah,
respect, you
yeah,
know?
yeah. Just get to know Eva. Try to keep Leslie and Eva separate because they are
Right.
different individuals. Because Leslie even said that when she was talking to Eva, they are totally two different people. But Eva has to learn boundaries, with her mother, and having a narcissistic mother like that is gonna take some time
Mm-hmm.
to deal with. And well, I was kind of hoping that we saw Luke, because we've heard of Luke. We haven't
Mm-hmm.
seen him. I was hoping he would have popped by, but maybe a different time he will. But I wouldn't mind getting to know the Hawthorns a bit more. There's some
Mm-hmm.
layers there that I would love to see. But I am glad that his family was there for him. So everybody's gonna be at the hospital next week, is what it looks like. We're gonna have a
Yeah.
lot of stuff going on. We got Nicole being worried about Kat, of course. We got Leslie worrying about Eva, Ted worrying about both. So I think it's gonna be a lot of layers going on next week as well. But everybody did great. It was just tough to watch how the storyline brought the worst out of people. It was like, oh my gosh, everybody's getting on my nerves in this one. But this is a soap and this is what they do. And I'm looking forward to the fallout of this. And I wonder how Eva's going to react to Kat doing this for her, too.
I mean, well, she'd probably be grateful that she did it because she'll be alive, you know.
But do
So
you
I'm sure.
think but do you think it's gonna bring them closer together at some point, or do you think
Probably not. Probably not right away
yeah, okay.
because they both got to still kind of go through their emotions and everything, but probably not right away.
Mhm.
I will hope eventually they can kind of build a relationship since they are sisters, but I think it's gonna take time.
Yeah. It probably will, but I think it's interesting if you zoom out of it, cuz when Anita talked to Kat and she mentioned Barbara, which I'm tired of Anita feeling guilty about. I think she done enough for her. But she talked about how she couldn't save Barbara. And I feel like it was a full circle moment of Anita's granddaughter, Kat, saving Eva, who is Barbara's granddaughter. So it felt like a full circle moment between like Anita and Barbara with Kat and Eva kind of thing. Maybe I'm thinking a little bit too big about it, but it just felt like a full circle moment between them because I don't think Anita would have want Barbara's granddaughter to be unalive too. And then if her granddaughter Kat didn't help out, I think she would have felt even more guilty that she couldn't help out her friend's family, you know.
Hmm.
But Leslie's house is gone, so
Yeah,
had to,
tornado got
so
rid
I
of
wonder
it.
what she's gonna do. Is she gonna just sell the lot, get a different place, or start over? Because homegirl is probably broke as heck, or maybe halfway through her money the way she's been
Well,
spending.
hopefully she had insurance. That's what I was
Yeah,
thinking.
and then you also got the country club has to be
Hmm.
rebuilt, and I wonder how that's going to go because maybe some families like Leslie and the bill clearers might want their names on it too to kind of be like co-owners or something. I can see that happening, but I wonder if they're going to have the country club as before or are they going to change it up.
That's gonna be interesting to see if they do or not.
Yeah.
So let's get into it real quick before we get out of here. Bill and Danny.
Who?
Bill and Danny.
Who?
I know. You like
Who?
who? I listen. I was annoyed with the whole thing myself this week. Her running over there to talk to him about keeping his mouth shut because he sure as heck looked like he was about to tell Andre until Chelsea came up at the hospital. And if it wasn't for the whole Eva thing and him not knowing it, I think he just would have kept proceeding to tell him about it after Danny had basically asked him not to several times. It's gonna be interesting because I think Haley suspects something. I think she's just trying to get down to figuring it out. And honestly, I hope Haley does figure it out. I really do because I don't like the way this went down, and now Andre is gonna end up getting hurt in the process. I don't like it at all. And I feel like since Danny did all this, I think she needs to go tell Andre because Bill was about to. So I just think she needs to tell Andre and don't try to sweep this under the rug. Look, we was in the elevator. I lied. I'm sorry. And I think she just don't want him to run off and leave her because he probably would at this point. But she don't know. He might forgive her, but she needs to get it together. But that's all I had to say about it. I was just kind of like, dang, Really.
I fast forward. I didn't care. So that's our take on Beyond the Gates this week. Thank you so much for listening and reviewing, leaving likes, and following us. We really appreciate you. Until next time, everybody.
Bye, everyone.